God has a point to prove through you. On the day of his betrayal, a man found Joseph wandering in the field. The man asked Joseph what he was looking for and gave Joseph directions to where his brothers were. What Joseph didn't know was that he was being directed to the pit. You may be wondering, why did God not warn him or redirect him? Just think about it. The man overheard where his brothers would be, so it's likely that he also overheard their plan to kill him. The man could have easily sent Joseph the other way, but God had a plan behind the plot. The betrayal was necessary for God's will, aka Joseph's dream, to come to pass. Like Noah was sent to relieve his family of the curse, Joseph was sent to relieve his family from disgrace. There was so much deception leading up to his birth, all the way up to his betrayal. His mother named him Joseph, saying God took away her disgrace, not realizing that he would free their entire family from it. Joseph's father and his brothers were able to settle in the best part of Egypt. Property was given to them. Food was provided for them. Just picture it. In the midst of a severe famine, suddenly they went from barely enough to more than enough. Loved ones, please don't get used to your current location or situation. Don't get used to things being the way that they are. You are getting ready to relocate. Grief is not your home. Famine is not your future. You and your family are moving, and the best is yet to come. And this was all because of Joseph, the same Joseph that was betrayed by his brothers, falsely accused, thrown into prison, and forgotten. But also the same Joseph that was exalted, celebrated, and given authority over all of Egypt because God was with him and in him. Loved ones, what blessings are you benefiting from that you didn't have to work or pay for? Be sure to thank and honor those that have paved the way for you to be where you are today. Joseph also teaches us that the journey to forgiveness is not easy. Forgiveness tip number 1 is to be patient with yourself. This was not an overnight process for Joseph. The first few encounters he actually had with his brothers were hostile. He treated them like strangers, spoke harshly to them, accused them, imprisoned them. But what I love about this is that his heart began to change because he feared the Lord. Be very careful not to try to become God and take matters into your own hands. Which leads us to tip number 2. Trust that God is just. Truth is, they didn't get away with hurting you, and Joseph's brothers didn't get away with hurting him. His brothers were filled with regret, which manifested into persistent worry and anxiety. Even after their father passed, they were anxiously afraid that Joseph would retaliate. Their minds could not rest. They were constantly in fear. While we never promote gloating in the sufferings of others, I share this to help you understand that God does not play about you. He is not going to let anyone get away with hurting you, and that their life has been impacted in some way for mistreating you. Lastly, forgiveness tip number 3 is to celebrate your journey. Look at what the pain produced in you. Look at how far you've come. You don't even look like where you've been or what you've been through. In fact, just like Joseph, you're unrecognizable. Celebrate you. Celebrate that God never left you. Celebrate that he was with you and is with you in every season and in every step of the way. Joseph, what was planned for evil against you, God planned for the good of society. You were preserved on purpose. You survived so that others could survive too. Joseph, you are now in a greater position to help others live. So today, I want to thank you for not giving up. It was necessary, and so are you.
Right now, I stand before you.